Hello and good morning. Welcome to another Fife Property Market Update. So this is for week commencing the 27th to the 3rd of May. So if you are not a regular to these shows, this is where we look at the statistics. So this is what was happening on Rightmove with all agencies across Fife for the last week. We then also look at what activity we have done as Fife Properties, so what we have sold and of course what we've got coming soon. And then we'll also do a run through of the shows that have taken place, just so you know what to go back and rewatch. What's great about this week's show is we are also going to do the monthly roundup for the entirety of April, because we are well into May. Can you believe it? So we'll do not only the weekly but also the monthly stats for April. So this is great if you are a seller, if you're going to potentially be a seller, or if you're even buying within Fife, or if you're purely just curious to see what is happening in the market. So as always, we will start with the sale activity. So we will pull that up now. As always, feel free if you have any questions, if you've got any comments that are relevant, please put them and I will come back to you. Or if you're not watching this live and you watch the rerun, likewise, feel free to put any comments, questions, and we will come back to you. So we'll start with the weekly statistics. So this is, as I say, the 27th to the 3rd, and it's broken down into micro regions. So that is all the different areas within Fife. So straight away you can see that there was 137 properties instructed versus 152 properties sold. So there was a lot more properties accepting offers last week, which is great to see, because this is the time where the market's picking up. There's more properties coming to market. Everybody's been waiting for weather like we had this weekend and the lighter evenings, garden being in full bloom. Everybody just feels more motivated this time of year, and you can see that with the properties that are coming to market. So it certainly is ramping up, but it's great to see that there were still 152 properties sold just last week alone. So it does show you that there is active buyers out there, and now is the time to go to market. Don't be waiting until the middle of summer, because that's when everybody's waiting for, and there's going to be a lot more competition on the market. And what we tend to say, and where there's more competition on the market, you do tend to get a slightly lower offer price, because if they don't get yours, they will just move on to the next one. So please do bear that in mind. And if that is something you want to discuss in more detail, pick up the phone or message us, do what you need to do to get in contact with ourselves, and we're more than happy to chat with you in detail and also give you a more specific breakdown for your area. But it is great to see, obviously, those numbers of properties sold last week. So if we were to just do a quick run through, it was basically like for like in the Cooper, so the KY 15-14 area. East Nuke, 6 instructed versus 5 sold. That's kind of average for the East Nuke. It is normally single digits, and it does normally float around those numbers, so nothing untoward there. St Andrews, slightly higher numbers than what we normally get, just kind of float about the single digits. So it's great to see that there was 13 properties sold in St Andrews last week. There's quite a wee bit of stock to work through in the KY16 postcode, so it's great to see 13 properties accepting offers and now showing as sold. Levenmouth, there was 13 properties instructed versus 9 properties sold. Levenmouth continues to be a strong performing area. We're still seeing the positive impact of those commuting links opening up at the Leven train station and Camera Bridge, and we're not far, and we're going to be a year that it's been opened, and as I say, it's just had such a positive impact. Dunfermline, 46 instructed versus 60 sold. Now, 46 is kind of average for what Dunfermline instructs each kind of week, but 60 is slightly higher than what they normally sell. They normally float around kind of the late 40s, late 40s, low 50s. So to have 60 sold last week is slightly higher. Glenrothes, 14 versus 17, so there or thereabouts, and that is kind of average for Glenrothes. But a big increase last week was in the Kirkcaldy area, so you can kind of KY1 postcode. 33 properties instructed just in the KY1 area last week, which is slightly higher. They normally float around the 20s, and then 35 properties sold, which is again is a higher number than what we normally see for Kirkcaldy. So slightly higher numbers. There was obviously something in the water last week within Kirkcaldy, but we always do say 1 week does not make a trend. So just bear that in mind. But what we are seeing is there are a lot more properties coming to market, but it's great to see that likewise there is properties selling. So that was the last week's statistics. Now, just a reminder, so this is all taken from Rightmove, and it's all agencies that advertise on Rightmove, and it's all across Fife, as you can see. Now, we will do the April figures, so they should come up in just a wee second for you. So that is the April figures. Now, also just please bear in mind that this is the resale homes only, so this is purely the core market. This is not taking into account anything to do with the new builds, because then it's not a like-for-like comparison. But for the whole of April, then you can see that 625 properties were instructed versus 559 properties sold. Now, for those that may be irregular for this show, we had 1 week in particular where Dunfermline had such an increase. They piled so much onto the market, more than they normally would. So that did kind of put the figures a wee bit skew with. And you can see that when you look at all the other micro regions, how much Dunfermline stands out with what they're instructing and what they were selling. But if you are sitting with a property within this in between any of those areas and you are considering selling, you're perhaps on the market, you've just bought, or you're just curious, it'll give you an indication. Because while we say 1 week doesn't make a trend, that month analysis gives you a great insight into how your area is performing. So Cooper, for example, 56 properties instructed versus 44 properties sold. So that was obviously 79% of the properties showing as sold. You then in the East Nuke had 27 instructed versus 23. Now, not much in it, especially because there is a lot of stock that hit the East Nuke, just with the changes that all came into effect. But it is great to see, obviously, 23 properties selling. So marginal difference in there. St Andrews, 43 properties instructed versus 37 properties sold. St Andrews Market, it is a little bit slower than other kind of micro regions, just with the increase of stock that again hit the market. Change in regulations, again, a bit like the East Nuke, just with the second home tax, with the additional dwelling tax going up, with the change in regulations for Airbnb, that all had an impact on the East Nuke and St Andrews Market. But what put the St Andrews Market kind of out of turn even more was the new build properties, so the David Wilson home and the incentives that they were offering, as well the accommodation that's being built for students, that also made an increase of properties going to market. So there was a lot of contributing factors why there was a big increase in properties going to market and not as much selling. So it did create that bottleneck. Slowly we're starting to see properties selling. So we do say with the St Andrews Market, you just need to have patience. As long as you are priced accordingly, you are active and you are disruptive on the market, so your property is being showcased to its best light, your agent is doing everything they physically can to get it seen by as many people and pushing it out there, then you just need to have patience, because we have to remind you, it's also a case of how long has your buyer been looking for a property like yours. New buyers are entering the marketplace every single day, every single week, so your buyer is out there. You just need to have a bit of patience, because average selling time just now within St Andrews is anything from 5 to 6 months. You do get the anomalies that obviously get snapped up or do take slightly longer, but average is prepare yourself and factor into your next steps a 5 to 6 months selling time. So that's St Andrews. Leavenmouth, 67 properties instructed versus 43 properties sold. So a big increase on properties hitting the market. There's been a lot of activity, and we've had some great activity, and you'll see that when we talk through our solds and coming soons. We've got a lot happening within the KY area, and we've had some brilliant results over the last month. Property selling in within a week, property selling from social media, which is great to see. As we say, Dunfermline, big numbers. Dunfermline is always going to be the highest performing in terms of quantity within the micro regions, because of the commuting links and the accessibility towards your Edinburgh, your Glasgow, and your bigger cities. While the price point is higher in those bigger cities, you get less property, but actually just being this side of the bridge, you get a lot more property for your money, and you can just do the short commute. So it is always the next kind of location for people that need the bigger cities. So that's why Dunfermline is always higher quantity numbers of instructed and sold. Glenrothes, 75 properties instructed versus only 52 properties sold. That's quite a difference, and especially for Glenrothes. It's not something we tend to see that much of a difference on, but it might make sense when we discuss the new builds, because there is a lot of new build sites within the kind of Glenrothes and surrounding areas. You've got the Mark Inch site, you've got the Cadham site, and again, it's with different developers, and they're offering different incentives as well. So that is something to bear in mind with your Glenrothes market. Likewise, for Kirkcaldy, there was 127 properties instructed versus 114 sold. So 90% of the properties sold, and there is obviously some anomalies in there. But again, it'll make sense when we discuss the new builds, because again, you have the new build site just at your kind of Roslyn area. That again are offering incentives and still building. So that is our properties for the whole of April. If you do want to discuss it in more detail, if you have any questions, then please feel free to reach out to us, and we're more than happy to discuss with you in detail. But we're into another month. We are into May, so let's see what this month holds. But now we will take a look at properties that an activity that Fife Properties have been doing in particular. So this is we look at what we've accepted offers on, which will be contributing to those numbers we've just discussed. We'll then also look at properties that we have valued and are coming to market with ourselves. We'll look at what's completed, so you can get an idea of the price points that we have concluded on. And then obviously we'll move on to the shows. So first off then, we will look at the sold properties. But actually I have just noticed something. I'm getting ahead of myself. Is because I'm keen to tell you everything we've got coming soon, but we didn't actually discuss the new build properties. So for reference then, just last week, there was 1 new build sold within St Andrews, 3 sold within Dunfermline, 7 sold in Glenrothes, and 10 sold in Kirkcaldy. So that is a insight into the new build homes. And then if we look at the monthly stats, there was 8 sold in St Andrews, which is a slightly higher number than the new builds have been seen in St Andrews. Again, it's that time of year, it's this kind of season, people are more active and motivated. And Dunfermline, there was 8 new builds sold within that month. Glenrothes was 7, so the 7 that sold last week were actually the only 7 that sold for the entire month. And then Kirkcaldy had 14 sold for last month. So that is the new build activity, and that will also be having a slight, obviously, impact, and you'll see the difference with the resale homes, because people are choosing, those 7 and 14 and 8 buyers chose to go new build rather than resale homes only. So just bear that in mind as well. Nearly forgot that, but I remembered at the last wee second. We'll then take a look at now sold. So this is properties we have accepted offers on. So the first one is within the East Nuke area. So this is James Street in Cellardyke. Now this is a 4-bedroom terraced property. Now it's actually an upper apartment that's split over 2 levels, which means there is absolutely fantastic views because it's on the right side of the road. That means completely panoramic, uninterrupted views right across the Firth of Forth. So it's an absolutely stunning home. Now the new owners are looking forward to moving into the area. Obviously, moving into the new home, you are around the Fife Coastal Path, you've got the harbour, it's Cellardykes, you've got the open water tidal pool, there's everything on your doorstep, and they're getting an absolutely stunning property with gorgeous views that are never going anywhere. So it's a great investment to buy into. And that one was on for offers over 325,000. So it's great to see that that one is now had an offer accepted. Now, like we always say with properties that have just sold and are now going through the conveyancing stage, we can't disclose what offers have been accepted. So you'll just need to continue to watch or keep an eye on the market to see the offer that we accepted on it. If you are looking for a property on James Street, though, then keep a little ear out, because I have coming soons for you, and one is on James Street. So keep listening for that. But before we do that, we had another sold for last week. This was a brilliant result. So this one, a different area, it's the KYA area, but this was Omar Crescent in Buckhaven. And straight away you can see there sold in 2 days, which is just incredible. It's a great result. Obviously the sellers are absolutely delighted that we have got them an offer, and as well it's sold within 2 days. That's it done. They can now just plan and look forward to their next steps. And likewise, the buyer is delighted because they are upsizing and they've managed to secure that property, get in there before anybody else. They have secured it. They're upsizing, so it is the perfect home for them. So they are absolutely delighted. This is a 3-bedroom semi-detached. You can see there you've got your garage, you've got your driveway, you've got garden to the front and rear. So that is a fantastic result. And this one was on for offers over 155,000. So do keep a lookout. But likewise, if you have a property similar in the surrounding area, a similar similar footprint, or even if it's not similar to that, but you are looking to get your property sold and you want results just like these sellers, we're getting a great price point and getting it sold within 2 days. If you are considering going to market, or perhaps you're on the market with another agent and you're not getting the activity that you'd hoped for, reach out to us. We can get Perry to come out and see you, give you your accurate valuation, discuss next steps, and give you the opportunity to get results just like this. Absolutely amazing result. So that was Omar Crescent in Bookhaven. Now, I hope you're sitting comfortably because we're now going to discuss our coming soons. We have a lot of activity for you. So we're going to start now. This is properties that we have done we are just in the process of doing the marketing. We have been out and buying them and they are coming to market with us. Now, a pre-portal is going to be done across our social media channels for each of these properties. Now, if you aren't aware what a pre-portal is, it is a preview. So it's a full video walkthrough, a preview of the property before we put it to the wider market, like your Rightmove, your Zoopla, and your S1 Homes. This is your prime opportunity to get in there before anybody else. Now, the only way you can see pre-portals is to be following our social media pages. So we have a page for each micro region. So if you're looking for a property in Cooper, follow the Cooper page. If you're looking for a property in the East Snook, follow the East Snook page. If you're looking for a property in Leavenmouth page. And obviously follow the relevant page for where you're looking to purchase a property. Now, if you're open to the entire Fife, follow all the pages, and that way you are not missing a thing. But you are looking for that agent space and the words pre-portal, and that means you need to act fast. Watch that full video walkthrough. It's almost like your virtual viewing. You're seeing the property in its full detail, all of its glory. The agent is talking you through the features of the property, the lifestyle of the area, the potential of the property as well. And then at the end, we tell you the price point. So that is your virtual viewing. Then if it is a property that ticks all your boxes, you need to act fast. Now, to get in and view the property at pre-portal stage, so at preview stage, you need to match 2 criteria. The first one is you are cash ready. So you are ready to make our seller an offer. And that offer needs to be a no regrets offer, an offer that our seller cannot refuse, bites your hand off before it goes to your Rightmove, your Zoopla, and your S1 Homes. That is a pre-portal and how you get through the door. So keep a lookout, follow the relevant page. Now, if you are thinking that you don't match that criteria, if you perhaps have a property to sell, if you perhaps have sold but you're not actually got cash in the bank, or whatever your scenario is but you're not a cash ready buyer, still reach out to us, pick up the phone. We can get you qualified, we can get you registered on the system, we can help you discuss next steps and what gets you to that stage. But if it's a property you're interested in, please reach out. We can have the discussion, get you qualified, and then discuss the next steps for you. But the main thing is you need to be following the pages so you do not miss out on properties that are coming to market. So the first one is Shaw Street in Cellardyke. Now, this is a 4-bedroom terraced character property. It's absolutely stunning. Now, it is Shaw Street. So those that maybe aren't aware, you are right on the Fife Coastal Path, right across from the harbour, and you have absolutely stunning views. What's great about this property is it's over 3 levels. It's beautiful condition, but on the middle level, it has this gorgeous open plan, living, dining, kitchen space, and it is just stunning. You've got 2 bedrooms on the lower floor, 2 bedrooms on the upper floor, but it is absolutely beautiful property, character features, but really contemporary. It's just absolutely stunning. I'm doing the pre-portal for that one by the end of the week, so you don't have to wait long for that one. Next one is Skeeth Road in Cellardyke. Now, this is a 2-bedroom upper apartment. So Skeeth, so it's within the Silverdykes development. So they are newer properties, and this one is absolutely immaculate condition. The high standard contemporary finish throughout is just stunning. They've got a really high-tech, contemporary modern kitchen that's hardly been used. It's got a really bright and spacious living room. You've got 2 bedrooms, you've got your modern ensuite, and then a really generous sized bathroom. That you could, if you wanted to, you could actually reconfigure it to get a shower and a bath in that space. But this property is absolutely immaculate, and it's within the Silverdykes area as well. Of course, you're just walking distance to everything within Cellardyke, Fife Coastal Path, the harbour, the open water tidal pool. You can take a walk along into Anstruther as well. So that is, again, going to be doing the pre-portal by the end of the week. And next one is Lindsay Berwick Place in Anstruther. Now, this is in a really sought after, such a peaceful development. It's absolutely amazing property. It's really spacious, it's really bright. Now it's a 2-bedroom ground floor flat. What's brilliant is you literally can move into it and you have nothing to do. It's got a really contemporary, high standard kitchen, and then you step foot into your kind of spacious lounge area, but there's actually space for a dining room table as well, and you can put it in the bay window, which is just perfect. You've then got a spacious shower room and then 2 bedrooms as well. Plenty of storage within this property as well, so it's great whether you're looking for a full-time residency property, whether you're looking for Airbnb, whether you are looking for a second home. It really will appeal to a lot of the market, which I know means it's going to get snapped up, so you need to act fast when you see this pre-portal. But it's an immaculate property, ready to go. And as I say, it's in such a peaceful location. And what's great about this one as well is you do actually have outdoor space that you can take advantage of. But it's really low maintenance as well. So if it is going to be something that is a perhaps Airbnb or a kind of holiday home, you do have low maintenance. But if it is full-time residency, you can take advantage of having that outdoor space. So it's just perfect. Again, the pre-portal will be coming at the end of the week for this one. Next is McDonald Street in Methil. So this is a 3-bedroom masonette split over 2 levels. It's moving condition, ready to go. It's a really bright property, split over 2 levels. So it's really, really spacious, and it's almost the floor area of a house, but actually you are elevated across 2 levels. And this one, you have from your 2 upper bedrooms, you actually have amazing fourth views as well. Again, this is going to appeal to first-time buyer, investor, landlord. It's going to appeal to a lot of the market. Then you have Park Drive in Leaven. So this is a 2-bedroom end terraced house. Again, another property that's going to appeal to the lot of the market. But Park Drive is a desirable area. It's in the Broom. It's where a lot of people want to be. You've got everything on your doorstep. Obviously, you've got the small cluster of shops just around the corner. You're just obviously across from the playing field. You can obviously get down to the Glen. You're still walking distance down to the centre for everything. But that one is going to be popular. Same for Green Gates in Leaven. You're in that similar kind of area where you've got everything on your doorstep. Now, this one is a 3-bedroom mid-terraced house. So it's going to, again, appeal to a lot of the market if you're looking to upsize, whether you're a family. But again, it's walking distance to all of your local amenities. You then have Memorial Road in Methil. Now, this is a 2-bed first floor flat. So again, great if you are first-time buyer, landlord, investor. Now, Perry's going to be doing all the pre-portals for these ones. So for those ones, you need to be following our leave-in page, and you don't have to wait long for them. So do keep an eye on the leave-in page. But these certainly are ones that are going to get snapped up because they're going to be affordable price points. You then have Wellesley Road in Buckhaven. We've sold a lot on Wellesley Road, and again, they do get snapped up and they are desirable. Now, this one is a 3-bedroom semi-detached house. So again, great if you're upsizing, moving to the area, if you're starting a family, still even an affordable price range if you're a first-time buyer. So you don't have to wait long for that one either. And then finally, we have one in the St Andrews postcode, so the KY16 area, but this is actually St Michael's. So it is a kind of semi-rural location, but you're still close proximity to St Andrews for your amenities, for Guard Bridge, for Lucas. You could even obviously go down to Tayport or Newport for amenities. You do have the St Michael's in the country pub as well, but you have gorgeous walks from that area. So you do get in that kind of semi-rural lifestyle, but you're still close proximity to all of your amenities. And it's kind of tucked away in a cluster of homes. So it's lovely and private, really peaceful. And that one is a 5-bedroom detached property. So that one will be going on our St Andrews page, and you don't have to wait long for that one either. So we have a lot of activity coming. If you do have any questions on the properties or any of those sound like obviously what you're looking for, make sure you follow the pages. Also call the office and get yourself registered so that when properties do come live, you do not miss out on them, because you need to be taking every single step and action to find your next home and be active out there, because as you've just seen from the statistics, there's a lot of buyers on the market, so you need to stand out. Then we have completed. So we have George Govan Road in Cooper. So this has now gone through the conveyancing stage and is over the line. So this one was a 2-bedroom terraced property. Moving condition, it had an enclosed garden that you stepped out through patio doors and really spacious dining kitchen. You had your 2 bedrooms upstairs, plenty of storage as well with this one. Now this one, they were on the market for offers over 185 and we got them 190. So we got them 5,000 over the home report value, and the new owner is absolutely delighted with their first home. So that's a first time buyer securing their property, getting out on the market, and what a fantastic first home. It's in a sought after cul-de-sac, really quiet, walking distance to all the local amenities, but a really fantastic property as well because it was spacious, it was bright, and it was moving condition, ready to go. So that is what we completed on. Now, before I let you get on with the rest of your day, we will do a run through of the shows that have taken place. So yesterday you would have had the Wealth Creation show. Now, obviously, I know we are a day later with the update, but yesterday at 12:30 you'd have had the Wealth Creation show. So do go back and watch that if you missed it, because this was on how to improve your productivity with the 4 F's of the flow. Do you remember the last time that you got so focused on the task that you already lost track of time? Maybe it was something you enjoyed doing or was very eager to complete that you didn't notice that hours had already gone by while you were on it. You might have not realized it, but this is times when you were in the state of flow. But what exactly is flow? And how do you know that you already achieved this state? And how can you achieve it again when doing other tasks? You'll be glad to know that achieving the state of flow is actually really easy. All you have to do is know more about the 4 F's of the flow. So this one is a great topic, whether you are whether you're just curious on it, whether you're a business owner, whether you're looking to start out. It'll appeal to so many people. But you've got Richard Cook, the lettings director, and Jim Parker, one of the UK's most successful property investors, on hand to discuss. Then another show that was done was Perry and I did the midweek show last week, and this was 50 Shades of Sold and how clever colour tips boost your sale price. Because did you know which colours can add the most value to your home and also speed up your chances of a sale? It's all down to that colour psychology, and we always say that it's all about mindset. We are obviously not just triggered by what we see, but what we smell, what we hear, and we are really triggered by our full senses and our emotions as well. Buyers make snap emotional decisions, whether it's from online photos or during a viewing. Color has a huge impact. It shapes the feelings of space, light, warmth, and then even desire. As I say, Perry and I were on hand discussing that last week, and there were some brilliant tips and cost-effective options as well. It doesn't need to be expensive. You don't need to be going buying new things, and we gave you tips on that last week. So do go back and watch that one. And then another show that was done, and great if you are, as I say, a seller, if you're a buyer, if you're thinking of going on the market, then this is a 30.6% of Fife homes sell per month. There was 30.6 of Fife homes on the market in March found a buyer, a contrast to the market highs in 2022. So Perry and I were on hand discussing that last week as well. Got some great insights, some brilliant facts and figures. So certainly want to go back and rewatch if you are obviously interested and keen. But that has been another weekly update. A lot of information in there to digest. A lot of coming soons as well that you need to keep a lookout for. If there is any of the coming soons that you are interested in, messages, comment, call us, get in contact with us, follow the pages. Likewise, if you're watching this on the rerun, any questions, comments, anything at all, please just put them and we will come back to you. But that is us for another week. And I will see you next Monday for another weekly update. All the best. Take care.